So one of the first things to consider when starting this challenge is how can I get up and running quickly? I know there's going to be some expenses down the road, all sorts of things. I don't know what they might be, but the first question I'm having to ask is, how am I going to finance this? And I don't have that much spare money to put into this. Like I say, I do have a day job, but I also have bills to pay and mortgages and all that kind of stuff. Mortgages? Just one mortgage. So I thought, okay, so how can I find some seed money, some seed capital, to bootstrap myself and get myself up and running? And the first thing I thought about really was I've got some things around me, particularly stuff that the kids had when they were younger. I've got some stuff in a lockup from a previous business I ran, but we closed that business. So I've got some sort of office type things, I've got some kids things. I've also got probably one or two bikes and bike bits in the garage, which I haven't touched for ages. So the first thing that sprung to mind really was, well, why don't I see if I can sell some of this stuff? And the obvious place to go, well, it wasn't so much obvious, but what a lot of my friends are doing, and they told me, is that, well, just jump on Facebook, because you can sell on Facebook Marketplace for free. Facebook don't take a commission, whereas I'm not sure about Gumtree, but I know eBay, certainly if you're listing things on eBay, there is cost to that. So what's the lowest level of friction and perhaps highest chance of being able to sell some stuff? And it turned out Facebook Marketplace is a great way of going about it. Now, I've been on Facebook for years, but I don't ever go on Facebook, if that makes sense. I've got too many things going on in my life, and I try to limit my sort of social media presence. But having a Facebook account, first of all, you have to have a Facebook account to sell on Marketplace, but having one there lying dormant, I just resurrected it and thought, okay, well, let's just list some things on Facebook and see where it takes me. And so here you can see, this is my Facebook Marketplace page, and all these things have been sold. But if we look through to some of them, I had an old classic digital radio knocking about the house, because we listen to the radio now via our phone, our Alexa and whatever. So who needs a digital radio? Turns up someone did. I listed it for £20, but sold it for 10. Okay, that's not going to mean I can put my feet up for the rest of my life, but it's a start. I had a spare bike saddle knocking about. I even managed to sell an empty Fortnum & Mason hamper. That was one of my quickest selling things. It was listed and literally had somebody right there and then make an offer and come around and collect it. The other beauty of Facebook Marketplace is that you can just sell from your house. You don't have to package anything up to sell it. All my listings are collection only. And when you come to list your product, it gives you options to list it elsewhere. So I just list it in all the local virtual car boots and village groups. That you'll find that when you go on there, there'll be loads in your local area of groups, which is all about buying and selling to people within a sort of 10 to 15 mile radius of you. I had a really ropey old Dyson vacuum cleaner when I cleared my dad's place out when he had to go into a nursing home. He had no need for that, so managed to get 20 quid for that. A few things sold really well. I had an old work laptop, which I sold, managed to get quite a few pounds for that. So some things sell really sort of cheaply, and others you can get quite a lot of money for. So for instance, our old mobile phones. A lot of us have probably got mobile phones stuck in drawers somewhere. If I look in my drawer just below, it's got one or two phones, and you think, well, who's going to buy those? Because it's an iPhone 5 or 6, or it's a Samsung Galaxy 4 or 5, and we're now on versions 14 and 15. There's a market for them, and actually old phones, as long as they work and in pretty good nick, they sell really well. So I had an old Apple computer, and I thought this would sell for a lot. Turns out the market is awash with them. So I think you've got to temper your expectations about what you can get for some of the items. You may have spent an awful lot of money on it, but the market will tell you what it's prepared to pay for these things. So don't get too hung up on, I've got to sell this for X amount because I paid X amount for it. If it's been sat in a drawer for years, if it's been in your garage or in your loft for more years than you care to mention, then it's not getting any revenue for you right there and then. So basically, take what you can get for it. Okay, so And don't get too hung up on how much you paid for it in the past, because you'll never shift stuff. Yeah, if somebody will give you a tenner for something you paid 100 quid for, look on the rest of Facebook. What else are they going for? And if £10 are going rate, take £10, start to get things moving, and you'll start to pretty soon build up some startup capital. And I've built up some nice startup capital. Some things sell for a lot, some things don't. But very quickly you can build up, upwards of £1,000 to £2,000 just by taking the time, going around your house, your loft, your garage, whatever it might be. If you haven't used something for a number of years, then sell it. Take some pictures, clear a work surface in your kitchen or on your dining room table. Make sure it's a nice, clear image. Don't have to be too fancy, but just make sure there's nothing else to clutter up the visual space, if you like. And I guarantee you'll have some success on Facebook. One warning, you'll get a lot of scammers as well, particularly if you're selling technical objects like phones or laptops. People will say to you, I'll transfer you the money if I send a courier around. And so just be aware of some of the scams that are going on. But by and large, once you get savvy to what those scams are, you can spot them a mile away. And my experience, I would say, is overwhelmingly positive selling on Facebook. So having done that, I've now built up myself some working capital, some seed capital for my Online Explorers project. See what you can do. Oh, and by the way, don't forget to like and subscribe to this video. It will help me build up this. I'm still practicing, and perhaps I should have mentioned that a little bit earlier. But if you like this video, hit subscribe. And I'm looking forward to being on this journey with you and helping perhaps you set up your business as well. So thanks for watching. See you on the next one.